Battery. From the very start it seems obvious that the mysterious machines in the background probably serve some purpose. It's unclear what they do, but the vicinity of the exit seems to suggest that the two are somehow related. This is of course not a logical conclusion to draw, it's merely conjecture based on inductive reasoning. This is, however, how we solve problems in video games: conjecture, hypothesis, theory, experiment, solution. Some people prefer to theorize more, others prefer to test more, but ultimately we need to end up with results. What I've mentioned is of course a lot more directly applicable to puzzle games and adventure games, the ones where you are overtly presented with puzzles to solve in order to proceed. In general, however, this applies to pretty much any genre to some degree. The Vikings are in possession of what I can best describe as a spool. What sort of spool is it? A spool of thread? A spool of cable? /var/ spool? It is probably cable, but hell if I know. I'll need to do some exploring to find the other missing pieces. The interesting thing about the spool and the machine we're dealing with is that there is neither a manual nor a logical way for us to ever figure out precisely how it operates. Some people would call this a cargo cult. We give the machine what we think it wants and hope that it will bestow upon us what we wish to receive. On the other hand, the methodology is helpful to people worldwide. As long as you know that something does work, you can treat it as a black box. Something comes in, something else comes out, and you don't need to explain that, you simply need to notice the pattern and use it to your benefit. It is admirable to wish to understand everything about the world around us. It is perfectly acceptable not to. Not to understand, I mean. To a lesser degree, not wanting to understand everything is also not unreasonable. I have explored to the left of the pit of spikes, only to be greeted by more spikes. I shall adjourn the exploration of the leftward reaches and venture onto the conveyor belt instead. I appear to have unwillingly placed myself in quite a predicament, as the mechanical contraption is pulling me towards the loving embrace of swirly death. It seems that I have been able to save myself from that unpleasant fate. Now I shall attempt to assassinate the menacing soul creature by cunningly switching my view between Vikings. Behold as I fearlessly taunt the creature by showing it Olaf's backside repeatedly, simultaneously failing to properly line Beliak's arrows time and time again. Observe, the beast is no more! I have acquired a precious vial of blue liquid that shall, no doubt, aid my stranded heroes in their exodus. Why do I even narrate like this ever? More importantly, should I really stop? I guess I'd rather go with novelty than consistency any day. In case for some incomprehensible reason you haven't noticed this yourselves, I have two items now. As luck would have it, these are the two items which are symbolically represented on the machines below. The third one is blank, which could confuse you to no end. It would probably confuse me to no end as well, if I haven't played through the game already. The answer is not something you can just come up with, you need to keep searching. Being left with the upper left spike area and the tunnel, I have went for the tunnel first. Now Olaf is stuck. If he moves, the Vikings will prematurely hasten their trip to Valhalla. On the flip side, the droid is currently busy, so my other Vikings can safely walk past him. In case you're wondering just what the hell it is that I'm doing with the elevator, it doesn't stop next to the tunnel, it just keeps going. The only way I can get in is by jumping up at the right time. I will begin in the usual manner, scouting ahead with Eric. It quickly turns out that Beliak's firepower is needed, but it shall also be promptly rewarded. Up the inconspicuous ladder there is a saw droid guarding fire arrows. As you almost certainly know by this point, but I'm going to mention anyway due to this part mostly consisting of walking back and forth through a serpentine path with each of my Vikings, fire arrows allow you to kill what you otherwise cannot. What you could kill anyway, with fire arrows you kill quicker. There is no reason not to have them whenever you can acquire them. We went right, then top, then bottom. It stands to reason that we're heading left now. I have to do it 3 times and I have to be careful since there's no telling what awaits us on the other side. This, good people, is why you send Olaf first. What would have happened had I sent either of the remaining Vikings, I shall leave to your imagination. The ham will come in handy, but let's proceed upwards? I cannot do so. Believe me, I have tried. There is no ladder though. For Olaf, that place constitutes a dead end. Was it then a waste of time to get there? Certainly not, since I have a different Viking, trained in the mysterious art of jumping. In a single leap, he was capable of grabbing onto the ladder above, so that now he can climb the rest of the way and pick up pliers and 2 screwdrivers. A toolkit, if you will. As you might have noticed, this does not solve our problems quite yet. We had no desire for a toolkit. We have, however, not yet explored the area beyond the spiky pit. Our journey through the series of tubes shall take some time, but we will reach our destination eventually. Since the lift is below the tunnel exit, it would be the safest bet to gently glide down to it with Olaf first. Now consider what would have happened if I entered the tunnel while the lift was going up. There would be no way for me to call it back down again, and I'd be stuck forever. Now that we're finally here, let's descend to the lift and then ride it all the way up, grabbing a quick snack on our way. The rotating metal bar is my transportation of choice here. It may not be the moving platform I deserve, but it is the moving platform I need. I could probably jump across the pit with Eric, but if you were in my shoes, would you seriously want to risk having to do everything all over just because of impatience and a single mistimed jump? We've got a mysterious machine here with a swirly purple thing inside and a dispenser of sauce to the right. My anthropomorphizing assumption is as follows: it wants something and it will give me something else in return. I use the toolkit, get a blank metal plate or cube. This is likely the piece of the puzzle that goes into the 3rd slot. This also means I have gathered all the pieces and may finally start making use of them. All I need to do is slowly and carefully get to the other side of the pit with all of my Vikings, ride the lift down, solve the puzzle and leave the level. Alright, let's get to it. I place the spool, the vial, and the plate. Well, look, I've received a battery. I can now use it to unlock the metal door, blocking the exit. We're done here. Sometimes I get so mad I want to clobber something. But you do that all the time, Bailion. I do? All the time. Ah, yeah, right.